Good morning. Today is Friday, January the 12th. The time right now is 9:40 in the morning, and overnight, the very much expected CPI number came in as a whimper. Market hardly reacted, although the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 do register new fresh highs in both indices. We can see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average registered a new high at the start of the trading day at 37,801.9 before easing back a little bit, but practically it closed unchanged. In fact, all the major equity index closed relatively unchanged. In the S&P 500, we also have a marginal high traded in the S&P 500 at 4,798.5. Now, this is an all-time, this is just 0.5% away from the all-time high, which was last traded on January the 4th, 2022. And that level is 4,818.62, okay? And again, market closed relatively unchanged, so there was hardly any movements. And in the Nasdaq 100, market did not register any new high. However, there was an intraday high at 16,898.16. Again, very, very close to the all-time high that was last traded at 16,969.17 in the last second trading day of 2023. And there is nothing to see here. Tonight, we have the PPI, which is the Producer Price Index. We are likely to see the same data suggesting the inflation is coming back. And yesterday's CPI number does shows that the inflation is resurging because it came in stronger than expected. And that will put a dampener on the expectation of any rate cuts at the end of this month or the beginning of next month, because that will be the first FOMC meeting for the year. In Nikkei, we can see that Nikkei actually rushed higher to 35,710 now. This is again a 34 years high. And if the market can sustain, well and good. If it's not, then I think the market is due for a pullback, especially if the Wall Street closes weak tonight. Over in Hong Kong, I think the case for a buy in the Hang Seng right now is getting stronger than ever, because we can see prices, although it has done a three-wave rebound to 17,255 in the futures contract, it also pulled back in the three-wave decline to as low as 16,069 recently. No, I think it's much lower, 16,079, and it managed to kick up yesterday. Now, this bar here is going to be crucial in my opinion, because it shows to me that there is strong buying interest returning in the Hong Kong market. So the case for higher prices in Hang Seng is actually quite strong in my opinion. It is worth considering taking a look on the buy side in my opinion. And then in the dollar did not react very well on the hotter than expected CPI numbers. Initially, the dollar actually rose, but come back down to close almost unchanged at 102.01 as we are speaking right now. So near term, I do expect the dollar to pull back to about 101 to 101.75 before it rushes higher. I think the case for buying dollar is still very much relevant at the beginning of the week and towards the end of the week. And in euro dollar, if the dollar is going to pull back, there is a possibility that we can see principal currency rallying. In this case, the euro versus the dollar have a chance to rally to 110.15 to 110.40 levels before it meet resistance. And incidentally, the 110.40 level is also where the market closes last month. Okay, so that will act as a natural resistance. Prices is likely to pull back, and if it does pull back, I would like to see a three-wave pullback targeting 107. In sterling, the structure looks very, very different, and the case for a strong sterling is actually very much in play. I mentioned that the market here 4 times tested 126.10 levels and held, and the last time being the non-farm payroll last Friday. So 1 week later, we can still see that the sterling prices is still very elevated, currently trading at 127.80 with the prospect of taking out 128.27 towards this bracket of prices around 128.75 to 130. And over in the Aussie dollars also kick up this morning without taking out the most recent low at 0.6640. Last night we have a low at 0.6647, and over the last early morning trading hours, you can see that the buyers are coming back in Aussie. And if that's the case, I think there's a good chance market will go back into this area of 0.6755 to 0.6785 levels before we see prices coming back down again. Over in the dollar Canadian, we can see dollar Canadian also pulls back from a high of 134.43, and this suggests that we can see lower prices perhaps to challenge the 132.87 low that we saw last week. at most, I think if the market ever pull back deeper, I think the area between 132.30 to 132.60 do offers sensible support there. Over dollar yen tested 147.41, which is marginally higher than last Friday's high. So we can see that the market right now favors a downside move, and that is very much in line with the dollar pulling back before rising again. Okay, so for now, I think there's a good chance for dollar yen to pull back to 143.11 to 143.73. Now, over in precious metal, we can see precious metal dip marginally, with gold trading just marginally lower to $2,013.40 before kicking higher. So I think there's a good case for gold to actually trade higher for now. But overall, I would love to see a larger pullback from the all-time high of $2,049. So I think first bounce before coming back down to test the lower end of 1900. And over in silver actually trade lower compared to last month's low at $22.49, and that is actually putting a little bit of a dilemma here, because there's a case for buying silver. The low traded last night was $22.46, as we can see prices now is rebounding. Not sure whether it can hold off all the way to the top, to at least test the $23.51. Over in oil, oil did not do very well. It has been going up and down. It's been gyrating for this entire week, and now the prices are beginning to look higher at $73.83 on news that the US coalition has already started attacking Yemen, in particularly the Houthis militants based in Yemen. So that could actually suggest that there's an escalation in the Middle East. On top of that, we have news that Iran has seized an oil tanker, which actually belongs to them, when the US seized the tanker last year for breaking sanctions. So that is also causing the possibility of a direct conflict between Iran and US. Now, to finish off, we talk about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin actually have rushed up to 49,000 before pulling back to 46,000 this morning, on the back that the BTC ETF license has started trading, and it got off to a flying start. It was reported that a total of $3.6 billion changed hand on the first day of trading in the ETF, and focus now has shifted to Ethereum, because ETF also is going to come into play in May. Prices went up to just under the $2,700 and before it pulls back. So do watch out for further gains in Ethereum as well. This is all I have for you. In the meantime, you take care and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.